Talk to Joe on 1850 715 815.
It was last Friday on Liveline when Shay contacted us on his way. He was planning his return to school on Monday and the journey, and he discovered these Go Vegan posters on his route, and among others, they say there's one of his sheep being stabbed with a pretty serious kitchen knife in the neck, and the slogan is "A terrified child dying for your dinner." And we Go Vegan, who pay for these ads, said they would come on. They're available now. Sandra Higgins, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Who is the child that's dying for your dinner?
Well, most of the animals that we use, particularly as food, are killed at a very young age.
Who is the child that's dying for your dinner?
Obviously, the lamb who's being killed.
The lamb isn't a child.
Oh, the lamb is a child to the mother who gave birth to her.
The lamb isn't a child in the normal meaning of the word. That's what upset them.
It would be standard farm practice to refer to mothers, fathers, sons and daughters.
As the lamb as a child?
Yeah. I always find it interesting, actually, Joe, to hear people, but they're surprised when they hear another animal being described as a child or a mother or a father or a son or a daughter. And yet we've no problem referring to, say, a chick at Easter as a baby chick, or a monkey as a mother or a baby monkey. It's only the species that we use that we find that we have this defence mechanism, and we find it objectionable because it reminds us that what we're doing is wrong. When we eat animal products, when we wear animal clothing, animals who are only a few months old, sometimes a few weeks old, are killed unnecessarily for us. And I think it makes us uncomfortable, and that's why...
Well, speak for yourself. You know what I mean? That's... I'm not saying whether I'm uncomfortable or not, but you're saying it makes you uncomfortable.
No, it makes the reason that people are defensive about calling another animal a child or a mother is because it reminds them that other animals have relationships the same as we do. They give birth, they look after their children, they have brothers and sisters, they have friends, they have emotions, they have feelings the same as we do. And that makes them uncomfortable when they're reminded that we kill them unnecessarily.
Okay. But you still send over the phrase, this billboard says a terrified child. You say I'm referring to a lamb.
Yeah,
okay.
And I'm reminding people that when we farm them, when we kill them, they have feelings the same as we do. I mean, that's a scientific fact. We're all animals. They're animals. We're animals. We all have a brain and a central nervous system.
And what do you think of people who do eat meat?
Well, it's not so much what I think of them as I know that they lack information.
Well, do you think they're child killers?
What I'm saying is that they're not aware of the fact that other animals have feelings and that they don't want to die and that we have no need to kill them. So that the role of our ads is to remind people, because this is something that they generally don't think of. I know I was horrified when I realised it, and I couldn't believe that I had got to this stage.
So what do you think of people who eat children?
It's irrelevant what I think of them. I used to be one of them until just a few years ago. It's a lack of information that people are entitled to.
Peter Whelan is a well-known pig farmer. Peter, you're a child killer.
I'm a cannibal now, Joe, am I?
Well, you talk to Sandra. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, I know. Listen, Sandra. First of all, I think it's. I like Sandra's. How would you say, her affection for life, and I'd actually concur with some of what she says insofar as, nobody goes out to kill, another animal cruelly or...
Peter, this argument is not about veganism or vegetarian. This argument is about those posters.
Yes,
that's right, what, and we'll stick to that. I'm not. We've done that vegan argument till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah,
and we'll do it again, I'm sure. But this argument on this occasion is about those ads, and the ad shows a sheep being stabbed in the neck, screaming, obviously, and it says in massive print, "A terrified child dying for your dinner."
Yeah. Well, that language is totally unacceptable and wrong, and it's misleading. First of all, we all know, and you're quite correct, the terminology for a young sheep is a lamb. If she wanted to use an analogy, she probably would have been better off using goats, because the young goat is called a kid, if she wants to go down that terrifying route, frightening children in schools. But I wanted to just make the point that I have people coming into me now, and people are saying their children are being terrified by these ugly, frightening posters and the language and the way it's being. I have no problem with Sandra, as I say, whatever, like with the veganism, that's grand. The market I do has a vegan stall, and we get on great, and we respect each other. But I do have a problem with targeting, young children on their way to school, seeing these, thinking that we're all murderers, farmers are murderers. The kid is the wrong language to use.
Okay, Sandra, why do you have to use, you say it's about education, why do you have to use such shock tactics? That's what's upsetting people.
Well, Joe, I think you hit the nail on the head yourself in the last 2 days when you said it's not about these images or photographs, it's the act. And if we're not happy for a representation on the streets of what happens on farms and in slaughterhouses, then we should be thinking about maybe we should change our way of life and not eat animal products.
But have other campaigns failed that aren't as graphic and as provocative?
I don't know of another campaign like ours at the moment. So they're just fact. What we're putting up there is factual. If we were to actually go into a slaughterhouse and take a photograph, it would be an awful lot more upsetting.
You say a terrified child dying for your dinner. People reading that would think of a child in, God forbid, the Congo or the Yemen or whatever, suffering.
Not really. No, it reminds
they would
them
talk
of the
about.
fact
We're not building a children's hospital for lambs.
It reminds them of the fact that we're not the only species who have children. Other animals have children.
But I'm saying, why have you gone down the road of the shock tactics? Have the other tactics not worked? Education.
What's shocking is not it's like what you said in the last few days, Joe. It's, if it's true about the photograph of the guy sitting on the horse, the dead horse, then it's also true of our ads. Our ads are not the problem. It's the fact, the action underlying them, which is that humans are using other animals, even though we have no nutritional needs.
Okay, bring other people in before the break. Lucy, what do you think of the ads?
Hiya, Joe. It's quite shocking. I suppose it's quite shocking. I thought maybe it wasn't the best one of the Go Vegan ads I'd seen because it referred to a child. But it's kind of interesting that farmer who was on there suggested that maybe she should have used a goat, because then they could legitimately have said a kid. So would people have been upset then? I don't know. I mean, Joe, one of the things that for me is that I am now vegan at the great old age of 59. I was vegetarian for years, and mainly because my oldest son actually said to me one day, "Mom, why do we eat animals?" And
so why do we
habit?
Yeah. So why do we need these ads? These shocking ads on our public streets for children to see and.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's for everyone to see, and it was my children who woke me up. They opened my eyes.
Yeah, but it was your child who spoke to you over the dinner table or whatever and said, "Ma'am, why?"
Yeah, because he suddenly realised what we were eating was, basically a dead animal, and he said to me, "Why do we do it?" And I said, "Well, it's habit and it's culture, and I'm used to it."
So why can't that happen for other families? Why can't that happen for other families?
Because sometimes people don't have open conversations. I mean, I know my son, when he eventually went and told his friends about, now this was the second one. So the first one we said, okay, we'll try vegetarianism, and we went that route because of my other son. And then my younger son said to me, he actually told his friends, so he was much younger at the time when he went vegetarian, because obviously the whole family was vegetarian. So he was about 7. And he went down to his friend's house and he said, that's what you're eating. That was a live chicken. And his little friend didn't know that.
Yeah, okay, but
so we don't educate our children, Joe. We just kind of let them, we put the food on their plates and we tell them this is lovely and these are chicken nuggets and this is ham and this is beef. And they have no idea. We tell, our slaughterhouses.
But they do ask, and children,
I
think you've, to use that phrase again, hit the nail on the head, because I think a lot of older people who become vegans are influenced by their children's arguments.
Yeah, exactly.
Not by obnoxious posters.
Well, I don't think it's obnoxious, Joe. It's just, I mean, as I say, what I really would find obnoxious, and I've never been inside one, is a slaughterhouse. Or what's really interesting in that conversation you had with that lady there about her dogs and her little puppies who were taken away, and she was describing how scared they were, and somebody had taken them in a bag, and, you know, she didn't know, they were frightened. And at the weekend, there were 4 truckloads of calves, probably 15 days old.
But we'd have to agree. Okay, well, other people want to stay with us, Lucy. Okay, but we're talking about the ads. Back after this. 51551 more PJ English, you're listening to this debate about this poster from Go Vegan World. It says a terrified child dying for your dinner. The child in question is a lamb which is being stabbed in the neck by a butcher's knife. PJ, your point, please.
Thank you, Joe. I didn't see the ad, but I heard Sandra on your program, and she nearly kind of insinuated that we were savages, the people that eats meat. That, you know, I farm in South Tipperary, and I farm calf to beef. I buy the calf.
Okay.
The better that calf is looked after, the better we will get results in 2 years' time when that animal is fit to kill.
And what do you think of Go Vegan referring to young animals as children?
Well, I'm farming, as I say, all my life, and I've never regarded my animals or calves as children. You know, even it don't make a difference what age you slaughter an animal. I don't eat veal myself, but veal is very popular all over Europe, and but I wouldn't go that. But I'm just saying that people go back to the biblical times and prodigal son and all that. Our Lord said, "Kill the fattest calf, and we'll all celebrate for the return of the prodigal son." So it's back that length of time. What
do you think of that, Sandra, briefly? Our Lord didn't say kill the fatted child, it said kill the fatted calf.
Well, you know, to use the length of time or a religion to justify something that's completely indefensible doesn't make any sense. There are a lot of things in the Bible, like beat your children and beat your wife, you know, that we know about. We know it's unjust.
Okay, got to leave it at that. Thanks indeed. Back tomorrow, 1:45. Lisa Marie Berry produced, and Ray Darcy next.